Hi, welcome to this part of my solo campaign session report featuring From the Ashes. If you haven't seen the other parts of this solo campaign, please check out the playlist in the description below. I am using Abraham's method as a player character emulator. You may remember from last time that Corvus was standing before this door that had a sort of mosaic puzzle with images of a fly, a bird, and a cat. Corvus remembers that in a previous room, he had seen these images of a cat eating a bird that had eaten a fly. So he starts to move the mosaics around in a way that the mosaic containing the image of the fly seems to be inside of the mosaic that has a bird, and that mosaic is also inside a cat. And so with a click, the door in front of him slides open. The room revealed behind the door is large, containing a set of pillars that can be rotated. Each pillar has a minus and a plus side, and it's only a matter of a few minutes rotating them so that each minus is facing a plus sign that a portal is open. It manifests itself as a dark oval in the middle of the room. Corvus looks through its hazy surface and he can see an area that is the gate that he needs to open to proceed further. So he moves into the portal, but first I made a roll to see how he would proceed, and I obtained the result of Ponder, Stealthy, Tourist. Corvus pulls out his two-handed sword and enters the portal with the intention of being as stealthy as possible. Corvus steps through and enters a horrifically surreal scene. It is effectively the other side of the gate, but this area within a crack has phantasmal images of carnage and bloodshed facing in and out of reality. People of all kinds are being slaughtered, and yet they aren't really there, but their cries and lamentations are agonizingly clear. Thanks to these ghostly images and sounds, Corvus is not spotted by a hulking corpse that growls and froths at the mouth. It stands in front of the gate as it entertains its gaze on the scenes of carnage unfolding before him. Corvus approaches the creature carefully, moving from dead tree to boulder. But Corvus fails his stealth check, and just a short distance from the undead brute, Corvus's metallic armor clanks against a boulder, and the foul monster rushes at him, wielding a set of bloody and rusty twin axes. Corvus loses initiative, and he can almost feel the dreaded axes chopping into his flesh because he fails his fear check and gets 1 point of stress. Corvus cannot stop shaking as he gets a penalty to all rolls. Then the huge undead unleashes a barrage of axe cuts that Corvus barely deflects, but he suffers heavy backlash to his arms in the process. I made a roll to see what Corvus would do. I obtained the result of Main Attack, Minor Search. I decided to use the minimalist descriptive combat system. I'm going to put a link to that in the description. And I obtained the result of Left Arm, Amputates. Corvus cuts downward, trying to chop off the enemy's left arm, but misses, and the backswing of his foe sends his sword flying off of his hands, landing just behind the monster. The undead creature then rages with a hideous grunt as it tries to decapitate Corvus, but fails to do so. I made another roll to see what Corvus would do, now that he has lost his weapon, and I obtained the result of Secondary Attack, Major Search. By the way, I forgot to mention that Corvus lost his weapon because he rolled a fumble. Now Corvus steps back and pulls out his wand of fireballs. However, this exposes him to the axes and he gets a few cuts, but Corvus immediately jumps back as he shoots out a fireball to the right side of the creature just behind it, engulfing it in a blast from which it would not escape. Now it lies on the ground, burned to a crisp. Corvus's wand is without charges and completely useless now. Corvus absorbs all of the souls the monster had devoured and uses a portion of them to open the gate. Now he prepares to use the jawbone of remembrance and head back to town before proceeding further. And this concludes this part of the solo campaign. Let's see how Corvus fares in the new zone to be explored. I was actually worried about Corvus because the fight started so bad for him He failed his fear saving throw. He started to take damage. He lost one of his weapons. He took a penalty to all of his rolls. I was actually thinking that he was going to die, like that time in the swamp. But he pulled through with that last fireball charge. Thank you for watching this part of the solo campaign, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.